Welcome to Lightning Strikes, home of the Oak Farms League. This week we'll be reviewing Week 16. Jay Rucker shoots 279, 289 back-to-back. The team shot 29-70 and loses. And Tick Transport making a run. Ricky Ward cracked the top 3 in average, Larry.
Well, Tick Transport's unbelievable. The last 8 weeks they're batting right at about 600. They're averaging 15 points a week. They were in 22nd place after week 3. They're in 3rd after week 15, and that is a good team, a surprising team. I would have never picked them to win on this run. Just goes to show you what good chemistry and a lot of belief in your game gives you. They're in 3rd and a factor.
Also, it helps when you get the right match at the right time, like every week. You'll see.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's the luck of the draw, as we say in any sport. You know, you get a team in baseball that's hot. They're a last place team. They can beat the Yankees or the Red Sox. Normally, like a team like Baltimore is supposed to beat either team, but this past year they did beat them at different times. There's a team that no one would pick to beat the Yankees or the Red Sox, but it did happen.
The Bowl Beach Bowl this week. We'll see what happens.
That's what happens in sports. The underdogs do win.
All right, match number 1 is going to be team number 6, Lou, who won 8. They dropped the 14th. They bowl the first place team on the TV pair right next to it. Team 23, Brightview Financial, who won 16. Brightview has a 13.5 point lead over second place. Joe Lasik bowled well, shooting 639 scratch, 771 to go 3-1 over Tyler Plord. How do you say his last name?
Tyler Plord.
Tyler Plord, who shot 660, 732. Darren Lamar wins games 1 and 3 to split with Scott Chakosky, who made up for last week's bad performance, shooting 269 in game 2 and taking total 742 to 729. Bobby Hamilton, who's averaged 220, took 3-1 over Dwayne Billy, shooting 670, 709 to Dwayne's 543, 645. And John Pfister, shooting probably his worst set this season, but managed to go 3-1 over Merle Billy with a 642 series, Larry.
Well, Pfister in the last game, now keep this in mind, if you'll notice, it's 642 for his total of 631 against Billy. And if you'll notice, team game 977 for Brightview against 965. If Pfister opens in the 10th, it's a 3-point open. He doubled in the 10th to get 2 points for team game and 1 for individual series. 2 balls, 3 points. That's why he's anchor. So instead of 16-8, it could have been 13-11, pretty much a push. But when you take 16 in this league, you're always going to pick up, because the whole league, even at the top 8 or 10 teams, don't average 16 points a night. Tick has averaged 15 points a night the last 8 weeks. That's the hottest team in the league. So 16 is a great number. Now we established it. 16 is a great number. 20 is a walk-off grand slam, and over that, it's from another planet.
Hey, you watched them on the next to TV pair.
Right.
They looked well, did they?
I thought they were losing, and they were at different times in the night. It looked like they could have 8 points, but they would keep pulling them out, 9th and 10th, where they'd be down 30, 40 pins going each frame and then pulling them out. And I couldn't keep the score as fast as they can on 27-8 because I have scoring, and I really couldn't see it as much. But I will tell you one thing. They are a great team. Pfister bowled great last week. Even though he only bowled 642, he takes 3 points with 2 balls with a 642. That's good bowling.
That 642 tightened up him and Stover's average.
Well, he dropped 2. Stover stayed the same, and now the Bulldog, the great Ricky Ward, moved into 3rd at 229 on a mission the last 8 weeks.
He's doing great.
Oh yeah, he's back.
He's sniffing around.
Oh yeah, he's looking at leading now. And you know, with Ricky, the funny thing about Ricky is everybody, including me, knows he's got it, but we didn't see it for 6 weeks. And all of a sudden, the last 7, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, it's like, whoa, there he is again, the great Ricky Ward.
It's a pleasure to watch.
Oh, it is a pleasure.
All right, match number 2 is going to be Diamond Security. They had a good week last week and had a good week this week. They won 15, and they're in 20th place, and they beat up on the Goats, who only got 9, who dropped to 5th. This is the match that the highest scoring loss this year. The Goats lost 29-82 to 29-70 total pins. Ice takes 3-1 over Mike Schumacher, 683 to 755 to 667, 700. PBA Regional Champ Dave Covington going 266, 267, back-to-back, taking 3-1 over House Brown. Dustin Clark having his best set of the season, 716, 791 to Sweet Clay McCollum. And Jay Rucker lost game 1 to Matt Rizzo, 258 to 197, but game 2 at the front 9, left the 10 for 279, Then the third game, he has a front 10 and leads a 289 for 765.
Well, Rucker had week 10s on 9 in a row and 10 in a row. What's really sad about Rucker's 289, if you look at it carefully, if he shoots 300, they lose team total by a pin. So he never really had enough going in the 10th to win team total, which would say, wait a minute, he's got 10 in a row. He's just come off a 279. How could they be fighting for team total? He could have shot 300 the last game and they would have lost team total by a pin. But great bowling from Jay and great from Dave Covington. And when you add up the age, it's 114. And they bowled 718, 765 for 1483 for two men in their late 50s. It just goes to show you, it's not the game of power, it's the tender touch. Both bowlers have such great releases at the bottom of their swing, such great control of their footwork, and they're extremely accurate players. They learned in an era where accuracy was important. Obviously, they learned with rubber balls or plastic balls with pancake weight blocks. So they're shot makers. They throw it pure.
How about shooting 2970 and losing?
That's unbelievable. They really took a bad break. Now, there's a week where they got 9. They could have got 15 with one ball either way and a couple of shots. One open versus one strike. You know, it's sad, 1-7-10 on a pocket hit versus a strike. All of a sudden, there's a 4 or 5 point ball. And that happens in this league. What I love about the league is the competitive way it's now shown. The teams, the 7-8 top teams, are so competitive against one another that anything can happen at any time, where they can go from 3rd to 7th, back to 2nd, back to 3rd. It's a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight all year. I don't see anybody pulling away on this one. I don't see anybody running away. At the beginning of the year, I really thought there was 2-3 teams that would run away and just walk. Not with 90% and 235. That's the equalizer. It was a great formula. Whoever the people were that decided, was it you, Tom?
Yeah.
That you came up with 90. Let me tell you something. That is the equalizer for a good league like this.
Absolutely.
It really is. It works. I'm so thrilled that we have parity. We have parity.
You got a bowl.
And it's wonderful.
It is. I mean, also, Diamond Security Bowl, well, also, 2982.
Well, look at Covington and Clark and Rizzo. They got 2140 between them, and they bowled fantastic. Mike Schumacher's 667. They've got 2808 scratch, 408 over for 12. That's a monster. 2808 is a monster, and but they needed all of it. They needed every bit of it.
They did.
Yeah.
And they did it on the TV pair with you announcing.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it was just wonderful with Dave and Jay with starting with the first 9, first 10. That was exciting.
It was.
Imagine sitting there, you're calling an evening of bowling. You want excitement. You don't want 140 to 150 and everybody falls asleep, including me. And there's these two guys just pounding.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, yeah, give us a show here. Right. That's what we want.
And the league was watching.
Oh,
it was nice. A couple pairs down all watching.
Oh, it's wonderful. Just wonderful to see.
It was amazing. Amazing night, amazing broadcast.
Thank you.
I watched it back.
The bowlers make it amazing. It's easy to announce when you see something like that, which is real competitive.
Yeah.
A lot of great skill level and really accomplished bowlers. They're local bowlers. They're accomplished bowlers. These guys could go to the ABC, the USBC, and shoot 2,000 for 9, come home with $5,000 in checks and brackets in a heartbeat. Dave Covington and Jay Rucker could go to the USBC Nationals and have a top 50 in all events. A top 30 in doubles if they bowl together. These are two guys that could strike anywhere in the country.
Covington did win a regional title.
Sure he did.
And then Rucker won the proprietors.
You get the older veterans, there's no fear anymore. No fear. They just get up and they execute.
They put on a show for sure.
Yes.
All right, match number 3 is going to be team number 2, Franks and Beans, Chuck Rucker's team. They won 12 and they dropped to 6. They bowled against team number 19, last place team, Stupid Corner, held their own. They won 12. MVP Mike Durkin, solid as usual, shot 657 and 705 to split with Danny Wilson 2-2. Mike shot 657 705 to Danny 663 to 732. Brad Zielinski split with Matt Pfeiffer 2-2, but edge total by 1 pin, 699 and 698. Reggie Kahn took 3 over Richard Whiteleather, 618 to 672. Mike Boyd has been on fire lately, beating Chuck Rucker, 2-time PBA regional champ, 739, 784 to 699, 762. Mike had games of 258, 235, and 236. How that, Mike Boyd?
Well, he's tough. He's a good bowler. Very costly for Frank and Beans to lose this one by 22 pins for team total. Right now, they're at a crossroads. It's getting close to the end of the first half. I doubt very much they can win it. Obviously, they're in place for the second half and year-to-date points. But a 22 pin loss, they're going to ask themselves where, and now it gets critical. When you lose team total by that close a score, the first thing you're going to look at is who missed the one pinner. I've been saying it all year. I don't know how many they missed, but if they missed 2, there's a tie. Okay, if they missed 3, that's why they lost. It's going to be the one pin spares that cost the team the top 8 in the roll-offs at the end of the year. And if I were the teams that now know that, I would be telling every team as a team captain, come out here, make sure you practice your corners, make sure you practice your double wood, make sure you practice your easy spares, the 2-5, the 6-10, the 4-7. Make sure you do not miss them on a key night, a position round night, a night where we're bowling a very good team. Because if we keep losing by 15, 20, 25 pins team total, and there's 5, 6, 7 easy spare misses tonight, unexcusable. And it's not the strikes, it's not the wraps, because everybody gets tapped. It's the easy spares.
And you see a lot of people practicing lately out here.
I was watching a bowling video last night from 1939 on YouTube. It was the coolest thing. They showed the width of the pin, the width of the ball. They showed the ball on either side of the pin. Guess how much room you have to make the 5 pin in the middle of the deck. Guess how much room?
Not enough.
What do you think?
I don't know, maybe about 2 feet?
18 inches. So if you got a 4 pin, a 6 pin, a 5 pin, a 2 pin, and you miss it, you've got 1.5 feet to make it. You've got to ask yourself this question: how could I miss with that much room? And the first thing you're going to say to yourself, unexcusable. If you look at the math, the 1 pin spare in the middle of the deck, that is the spare you cannot flag. I can see, pushing the oil and missing a 10 pin, crossing the oil. You touch the oil a little early with a plastic ball, it's going to go right in the drink. We know that. But anything on the left side of the lane, if you're right-handed and miss it, inexcusable. Inexcusable.
Anybody you recall missing a 5 pin for something big in your time?
No, but I've seen some 2 pins and 3 pins and 8 pins and 9 pins missed already in this league, and I know, without saying it over and over on the air, I know what it's going to cost that team if I see it, and I will say it. I know the week that it was done. I know what the team lost by, and if they lose the league like by 3 or 4 points, there it was.
All right, match number 4 is going to be the Bosses team, EVA Pro Shop. They won 14. They moved up to 7th. They took on team number 17, OMWB, Roy Perez team, who won 10 points in 11th place. Roy Perez took 3-1 over Robert Eddy, 606, 693 to 533, 626. But Robert Eddy's been struggling. He's been injured lately. He's fighting off injuries. Dick Hogan bowled well, taking 3-1 over Mr. 800, Joaquin, 553, 742 to 671, 698. Scott Cobb split with Brian Copeland. Scott shooting 662, 680 against Brian's 556, 646. And the Great Rutkowski shooting another 700. He owns this house, shooting 717, 744 to sweep the coach, Matt Hodgman.
I'm very sick last week. I talked with John after the league, was absolutely suffering, caught a horrible cold. But if you notice their team total, 2748 to 2741. You can flat bet spares on Paris's team, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one you can't lose. What's really interesting about this match is, for the first time this year, 15 weeks, Ricky Ward went around Scott Cobb for their $500 season wager on high average. Scott Cobb had him all year to week 15, and Ricky at one point was close to 300 pins behind in total pins and went around them. So now Ricky's swing's even going to get looser.
Do you tell Ricky to get a buyout?
I think you should go to him and say, I'll take 400 right now. Scott should do it. Say, yeah, I'll make it, I'll save 100. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, John was very sick this week. I had
John's sick as a dog.
Very sick.
Yeah.
I had to give one of my kidneys, so I hope he's feeling better.
Yeah, John's coming alive too. All of a sudden, here it's slowly picking. He'll be 230.
I heard he's bowling here Monday next year too.
Is he going to bowl here
Monday and Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Good. I can hit him twice a week for a loan. I love when bankers bowl here. I love it. What do you think? Think he'll say yes?
Yeah, he's got plenty of money.
I want to get some money for a toupee.
He has too much money. That's
what do you think?
He told me he has too much money.
Just want $300 for a toupee. I need a bank loan.
All right, match number 5 is going to be the hottest team in the league, Tick Transport, 118, who jumped way up to third place against Beach Bowl, who was in second, who dropped the fourth, taking 6 points. They have a knack for winning this week. They shot 28-20 and wins 18 points versus second place team, Beach Bowl. John Bercier went 3-1 over the two-hander Tim Sipper, 603, 720 to 563, 599. Mike Janansky swept the great Jerry Mikulanic, 561, 675 to 611, 632. If Jerry could have bowled average, it would have been 4-0 the other way. Tony Komorczak bowling well back-to-back weeks. His victim this week was Mark Platt Sr. Tony has been bowling very well since his 450 series in Tampa a few weeks back. How about that, Tick Transport?
Tick Transport, I did a number. The last 8 weeks, they're averaging 15 points a week. That's a 600 batting average. Fantastic. And here's the interesting thing about the scores here. If you look at Preston Willis, he lost 2 points, individual total, 671 to 680, or they take 20. Okay, so they are on a roll. They are a high handicap team with 411 pins, but they're averaging 200 last week, 2409, but the team's average is not 800 for 4 bowlers.
No.
So they're bowling great. They've got a lot of handicap, a great chemistry. You see back-to-back sweeps with a 561 and a 646. That's a handicap team bowling well enough to beat Jerry Mikulanic and Mark Pulaski, who are 2 fantastic bowlers. But what's happening is they're putting enough pressure on these guys, making them strike. They're bowling good enough to make the scratch players strike. And that's what you got to do in a handicap league. You got to make them know every time they get up, if they throw an open frame, they're going to be down 30, never mind down 20.
28-20. That's it.
Yeah.
They win.
Unbelievable. 28-20. They're putting pressure on them. And here's the reason why. If you look at Mikulanek's score, 214 to 213, and Pulaski 227, 214, but they lose them both. They don't bowl their average, right? Mikulanek's 227, Pulaski a few pins over. But Mikulanec doesn't bowl his average 1 game, he gets swept.
Yeah.
It's 227, he's supposed to shoot 681.
Yeah, I feel he should have swept.
Right, so
it's crazy how
Tick
Transport
yeah,
all the time, the whole year.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it's a full handicap team. So next year, you know, as you bowlers are watching this rundown every week and Wednesday night, and you're planning a team, because we're going to go to 36, there's no doubt about it. We got openings for 12, maybe even more. You can put together a good handicap team here and win in this league. And Tick Transport is the perfect example.
Yeah, doing great.
Yep, I love it.
All right, match number 6 is going to be team number 13, Eddie Foods, Chris's Peace team. They're in 17th place. They bowled team number 13, Rolling Thunder, Herb Klein's team, who won 11. Our junior coach, Coach Lindsay, bowled well, winning 3-1 over Herb Klein, 668, 737. Joe Ponzio also bowled well, taking 3-1 over Ron Roser, shooting 693, 774 with a 278 game 3. Corey Brown swept the amazing Jerry Lake, who had his lowest series of the year. And John Totten takes 3 points over Chris P, 581, 674.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at Chris P's score. He's been bowling great, and all of a sudden there's a 550. You know, a lot of times when you see that and you know he's capable of 780, you just got to really wonder what would cause him in a house he's very familiar with. Obviously, he works here.
That corners.
I say that a lot of that was probably physical.
Yeah.
Probably didn't want to say anything. Here's a man working on his hands and knees, fixing pin centers, climbing all day, climbing ladders, working around this building. Maybe there's a tight leg, maybe there's a knee that hurts. And the worst thing you do is say, well, I was sore. People are going to look at you. You bowled 780 last week.
Right.
But, you know, it's got a tough job.
That's a great job.
Plus, he has to listen to the bowlers and me.
That's right.
You know what it does to have to listen to me 7 days a
All
week?
the same night.
Maybe that's why I shot 550.
Gotcha. All right, match number 7 is going to be team number 18, Audi of Fort Myers. They won 17, and they're 19th, and they beat up on team number 11, Aches and Pains, who won 7, who's still in 23rd. Gary Sykes, fresh off his 300 game at Coral Lanes, took 3-1 over Robert Seeley. Even squeaked out total 707 to 701. Joe Smith takes the first 2 games over Barry Sykes, but Barry takes game 3 in total for a split. John Shemachowski took 3-1 over Craig Stritz, was blind. 602, 707. And Dave Ford wins game 1, but Mike Smith rallies to win game 2 and 3. Grabs total 711 at 693.
See, there's a 27.55, which really doesn't really win in this league. It's pretty low, but they did, you know, it was the luck of the draw, the right night. Very consistent for Gary and Barry. John, if you look at their scores, 707, 648, 707, 693, 2320, low scratch total. Handicap team, 435. Obviously, the handicap got them the win because the Mike Smith's team is getting 27 pins a game less, 28 pins a game less. There's 81 pins, so the handicap gives this team a win. And there it is again, the handicap taking control.
Oh, it's a decent handicap.
Yeah.
And Gary, I thought Gary's about 300 on Saturday in the.
Gary's looking good. Gary's getting loose at 70.
Wow.
He doesn't want to wait another 8 years for the next 300 games. He went from 62 to 70. I said, don't be banking on 78 too much. So he left.
That's great.
Good for him.
All right, match number 8 is going to be team number 20, which is Killer Tomatoes. Team number 20, 120. Killer Tomatoes move up to 16th. They bowl against team number 9, Taft, who's been very hot lately. They won 4, they dropped to 13th. Bobby Martin took game 1 over Danny Hyam. Came back to win games 2 and 3, also taking total. Bob Apolloni takes 3 from Mike Varda and shooting at 280 in game 3 for 642, 807. Larry Littman swept Ricardo Reyna, who shot 784 last week, and Fred Ingles, a player who shot 300 already in this league, sweeps. Second place. On our second place finisher and last week's sweeper, Bobby Taylor, who finished second in the sweeper.
Bobby's been bowling great. That 157 in the second game just wiped everything out. That whole match changes with his score and Ricardo Rena's. Look at that second game. Now you've got 158 and 157. Well, they lose the game by only 28 pins. So, and then they lose series. Obviously they got hurt bad in series, but that second game pretty much wiped them right out of the match for both bowlers. And if both those games are right at 200, maybe they're thinking a little differently. And these are two guys that can bowl well, of course. I mean, Ricardo can strike and Bobby Taylor's a better. Amazing how they both got lost. And in the third game, Bobby goes 245, 90 pins ahead of his second game. Unbelievable.
Man, you remember those nights?
Just don't know. That's what makes the sport. That's what makes the sport of bowling so intriguing. You had a really good bowler, been bowling, 40 years, 157. You say that's impossible. Next game, 245.
Nothing changed.
Yeah. Moved his feet, moved his eyes, changed balls, changed hand positions, and whammo. Goes from a game with no strikes to a game that had at least a 5-bagger and a triple or a 5-bagger and a double. Right. Yes. Right.
All right. Match number 9 is going to be team number 7 Big B bowling tournaments. They won 5. They're in 21st place. They bowled Ricky Ward's team. Team number 14, Big Gembler, who took 19, who also moved up to 9. David Stoker's blind took 3 points last week, which his team said to me that's the most points Dave's won in a while. Alsher bowled fantastic the past 4 to 5 weeks, this time sweeping Brendan Carlton. 762, 78 down to 279 game 1. Wayne Topham bowled solid as usual. 3-1 over Lee Rash, who's battling a serious hand injury. And Ricky Ward and Robert Hilton, 2 heavyweights, who struck a lot. Game 1, Robert took Ricky 280, but Ricky wins games 2 and 3, shooting 258, 278. He goes 767.
Well, they're 28-26 scratch, and this is a team obviously that not only can do it, but they better start doing it more than once every 4 weeks, because they have a big week like this, and then they get beat twice. Yeah. Then they have a week like this, and they get beat 3 times, and then they have a week like this. Excuse me. They've never been able to put this together for a 4 or 5 week run. That's really what they have to do if they're going to get into the top 8 in the league. They're in 9th right now, but I got to be honest with you. It's up really to Mike Alshire and Dave Stouffer and Ricky Ward and Lee Ratchin to understand they need 2,800 a week. They got to start playing for that. Your 2,600 ain't going to get it.
No.
Not in this league. So they've got to get sharp at the same time. All the time.
I mean, Alshire's sharp and Ricky's sharp and Dave's been suspect and Lee's had a nasty hand injury where I don't know why he's even bowling, but he is.
Yeah.
They got to put it together. Once they put it together, we saw when they put it together that 1 week when they shot 3,000.
Well, 2 weeks ago, Stouffer had like 630 and Alshire, he had 700, but the week before that it was like 6-0 or something. So, see, they're not clicking enough weeks in a row to pick up. And they're not averaging, and they've not had an 8-week stretch where they've averaged 15 points a week like Tick Transport has. So when you see that number, say, wait a minute, this is the best team in the league that can't go 8 weeks in a row and average 15 points a week, but that's what they have to do in order to make a move, or they're going to be 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th all year. Do you agree with that?
I 100% agree with that.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. Because if you didn't agree, I would be hurt. I would say, like, God, my partner doesn't believe me.
I watch those guys every week.
I know.
And
They are great.
It's fun to watch.
Oh, they're fun to watch. They're so gifted. You know, when you got a guy that led the nation in average, and Dave Stolfer is just unbelievably great. Lee Ratchet hurt, bowls, 634 with a bad hand. Still a fantastic score, considering the man's injured. A lot of people wouldn't even bowl. They'd take the blind. And Ricky, 58-78 the last two. Is he on a roll or what?
Yeah, the front nine, he's playing like against the ball return the other lane.
Yeah.
He took it so much.
So he missed 3 days in the pro shop since October 1st, never practices, and it's averaging 240 the last, 6-7 weeks?
Oh my God, he's wheeling the whole
I mean, he's working all
He's
day.
playing gutter to gutter.
Yeah.
It's
What
awesome
a
to
touch.
watch.
What a touch.
I'm so thankful I get to watch that.
I want to be their fifth man. I'd like to be their sub. I'm going to practice. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to practice for 6 months.
Yeah.
And next year in the fall,
All these tour guys.
I'm going to announce and bowl at the same time. What do you think? I'm going to call my own bowling.
That's it. All right,
The
that's
ratings will go to below 0.
Okay, team number 5, Hockey Baby, jumped up to second place. They won 15, and they beat up on Rob's Crusty Beard, team number 16. They won 9, dropped to 18. Anthony Evanchek bowled extremely well, sweeping Jason Pinaro 647, 75 to 537, 539, 689. Jim Shirk wins game 1, but Josh Brown rallied back wins game 2 and 3, as well as total. JJ Feather took 3-1 versus Bob McIver. Chris Hubach took 3-1 over Rod's Crusty Beard, shooting 691, 754, but Rod's been bowling well, very well, definitely, and he's definitely the team MVP lately.
Well, Hockey Baby has, again, the ability to shoot between 24 and 2,500 every week with 351 pins, and there it is, 2780, 2880. Their scores are very high. They don't have high averages. They've got 2 bowlers on the team, 194, 195. But when those bowlers shoot 640, 650, all of a sudden, whammo. Bob McIver really struggling, which surprises me. He's a pretty good bowler. Probably, anytime you see a 495, you go, wait a minute, that's virtually impossible. Yet they took 15 points.
They did.
And he had 495 and took 1. If he goes 595, they're about 18, 19 points. So they're knocking on the door of Brightview.
Yeah, they're tough.
They're coming.
Yeah, you got them, and then you have Tick Transfer behind them.
Yeah. Going to be interesting on position around
Can't
that.
wait, that's right.
What are we, 2 weeks from this
this
Wednesday? 2
week-
weeks from this Wednesday.
This Wednesday will be the week 17, and then we come back after.
Yeah, we got 2 breaks, 2 weeks in a row we're off.
And then we have the big
Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
before that. All right, match number 11 is going to be team number 18. Team number 3, Autism Awareness, won 18. They moved up to 8th. They bowled against team number 10, Build 1, who won 6, who dropped to 10th. Don Schwartz Sr. wins 3-1 over Robert Howard, 528, 690. Donnie Schwartz Jr. has been on fire lately. Another sweep. He shot 635, 737 handicap. Billy Seymour struggled again, but did shoot 790 the night before at Port Charlotte. Against Jose Gudardo, took 3-1 victory over Billy. Dino Gacera shooting another 700. I think it's 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Splitting with Davion, with Gacera getting 2 in a row, 726, 777 to Davion, 686, 728.
I think they caught a break at 28-41, taking 18. They beat a pretty good team, and obviously that team struggled horribly, just not clicking good enough. That's a good team.
Yep.
Davion Swiney, Joe Sgradano, and Robert Howard can all strike, but it was just a bad night on their bowling. They only took total pins by 15. They get 231 pins handicap, so the handicap is what cost them. Again, they can't keep up with the handicap teams. There it is again.
And Billy won.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Gacera's on fire.
Gacera's on fire, and they're making a move.
Billy Seymour struggling.
Yeah, Gacera's starting to carry the team, which we all knew.
We knew it was going to happen.
Everybody knew that was going to happen. Donnie Schwartz bowling very well.
The junior's been.
Blake Barnard again erratic. I like Blake Barnard. I think he's going to probably drill a ball or 2 for the second half and get sharp. His equipment's very old. He didn't bowl for 5 years. Doesn't have a good look. You know, that oil soaked stuff that's 7, 8 year old balls. If Forget about it.
Gross.
That's like a car with bald tires on a rainy day. It ain't gonna cut it.
All right, the final match we're going to review is going to be match number 12 is team number 1, Naples Fire Production. They won 15, they moved back up to 12, and they beat up on team number 12, Lightning Strikes, who won 9 and dropped to 15. John McBaron's playing with Jared Eisenberg, who's been on fire lately. John had a big game, 278, and taking total 636, 690. Kevin Day taking 3-run victory over Jim Cavacino. And Kevin Bold 647 and 749. And Billy Morgan winning games 1 and 2, also taking total against Clark Hallman 630, 675. Andy Cox is just bowling out of this world with a 798, 771 victory over Chris Rich, who also bowled well. Extremely well. Chris Rich bowled 729, 771. Only got 1 point.
Well, unfortunately, Lightning Strikes from week 8 to week 15 has dropped more places than any team in the league. You don't want to say that, but numbers don't lie.
First to 15.
First to 15. They've been on a downslide since the position round night where they really got beat up. I don't think they've ever recovered.
23 to 1.
It just took all the drive out of them. They had worked so hard to take the lead after 8 weeks,
They did.
and after that shellacking, they've never recovered. Sometimes the sting of a loss will change the chemistry of a team, especially when you know you had it. You know, you were right there. You had a chance, and all of a sudden, whammo, you don't know how to win. And again, this could change, and there's a lot of reasons it hasn't. Number one, I could see a lineup change. I could see maybe a good sub coming in and take a little pressure off maybe one of the weaker bowlers for a few weeks. Sometimes you got to do that.
That Scott Cooper coming in, shot 800,
Yeah.
300.
That's what you got to do. You got to change it around a little. Billy Morgan looking good, but how about Andy Cox?
Oh.
Andy Cox on a mission the last month. All of a sudden, he's averaged 230 to 234 to 230 to 240 the last month.
You make us fair, probably got 2 highest average in the league over that.
Good to see.
Alshire last 3 weeks.
Nice to see. John Bambaran, 278 out of shooting, 165 in the end. And, you know, it's amazing a man that good ending that way, but obviously he's in. He plays the lanes much different than most of the bowlers in his house. He starts weighing about 16, 17 arrows. Probably burned up a little quick on him. He had nowhere to go. He's already standing 40.
Lost his pass here.
You know, he probably had to get a weaker ball and move right. You keep moving left, all of a sudden they're going to toast out on you again. So you got to go the other way, lower the diff, lower the RG.
Just imagine though if Billy Morgan could stay hot and Andy Cox and Dennis Beagle coming back.
Oh, I know.
That team's right up there.
Dennis Beagle's some bowler.
He is. He had a Christmas party, I heard.
Oh, yeah, a Christmas party?
Yeah, so he couldn't bowl. That's why Jim bowled. But yeah. So that's all I got for the review. You have anything exciting?
Well, again, we had 2 great weekends in our weekend tournament series, which are out of this world. And we had the Scratch 5-game sweeper on the Tokyo Sports Shot last weekend, this past weekend. The senior sweeper, what was it? 80% of 230.
Yeah.
It was great. We had a proprietor win from Rome, New York, Craig Bogle, who led it wire to wire. Just came down here. He's a snowbird. He came in and took 500 away from all the locals. But it was fun to watch. I wish Jay Rucker would have bowled, and Dave Covington bowled very well. There was a few of our better 15-year-olds that didn't bowl. I wish Jay would have bowled. He'd have given him a run for his money.
Terry Weiss finished 5th.
Terry Weiss, that was great. Just so wonderful to see a new bowler in her 3rd year with a 12-pound ball, staying up with the men. She was so thrilled. Good for her.
And Bobby Taylor.
Now this weekend, what do we have again?
We have the Open Handicap.
Open Handicap this weekend.
Anybody can bowl.
We will be live streaming again at 2. Sign up is at 1. We've had a wonderful time live streaming the last few weeks. We've had guests. Of course, last week, having Gene Hyam on just broke me up. This 96-year-old man who landed on D-Day, June 6, 1944, at Omaha Beach in Normandy. And I'm talking to him. I've been watching that film all my life since I was a little boy. And here I am, 70 years old, and have a chance to talk to Gene Hyam while he's watching Danny bowl. For me, one of the most special days in my life. I will never forget it, because anytime you see that, well, when I announced him before the squad started, everybody stood up and applauded, and it was loud. The winner of the tournament didn't get the applause that Gene Hyam got. It just goes to show you how much it meant to everybody here to see that man, 96 years young, watching his son bowl. It was breathtaking.
Bowling's great.
Yeah, bowling's great, isn't
A lot of
it?
cool things happen.
A lot of cool things happen inside of a bowling center.
They do.
You know, it's great. Absolutely wonderful. Anyways, I want to thank you, Tom, for what you've done and giving me a chance to work here. I mean that sincerely, too. You're my buddy. You gave me a chance to get in the door, and I love it. I love working here.
I don't want to see you on the street.
I love working with you. I'd have been on the street holding out a cup. Hi, I'm a Hall of Famer. Can I have $2, please? I need to buy gas. I was ready to hit the mobile station right around the corner.
I-75 at Colonial.
There I was.
I see every day.
Hall of Famer Larry Lichtenstein, looking for quarters. Story of my life.
Anything else exciting?
No, that's it. Just exciting for me now to do this twice a week. I like Wednesdays. I like Saturdays. I think it's great. I didn't think it would be this much fun for me, but I look forward to both days. I really do. It's just wonderful. I get pumped up. I get excited. It's an honor. And I'm hoping for some more guests to come into the booth between now and the end of the year. I got a few friends I'm going to invite over here to sit with me. I got a couple of USBC and PBA Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes, I'm going to invite them over.
Dave Sutar?
I'm looking at bringing in Dave Sutar and Dave Davis to sit with me. Dave Davis, the 1967 PBA Player of the Year, the most prolific left-hander before Earl Anthony.
Wow.
Before Earl Anthony, Dave Davis had the greatest record for any left-hander in the world of bowling.
Did they make any money back then?
Dave Davis made a lot of money. Yeah, he was fantastic. And sadly to say for him, he's the only man I ever beat for a PBA title. Now here's the deal. February 6th will be anniversary number 49 of that match. And that week is the week I want to bring him in.
Perfect.
So we could talk about the match and how he was supposed to win with 7 strikes and 4 7-pins. And I beat him. Struck an attempt to beat him.
You're infamous. You're famous now.
Well, I don't know. I'm just honored to be here. I know that
You're honored.
I'm very fortunate to still have the fire in me at the age of 70. I have to admit, to still be in this business and still enjoy it. That alone for me is wonderful. A lot of men fade away. I'm still active. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love being here. The staff has warmed up to me. They really made me feel at home. You know, a little standoffish at first. You know, I was a high-profile guy. I was a big shot, blah, blah, blah. I'm equal to all of them. We're all in the same boat here. It's not I. It's a team here. Our job is to put bodies in seats, and that's what we're trying to do, especially on Saturdays. You know, we went 2 weeks in a row where Saturday's pretty quiet here. All of a sudden, there's 75, 100 people in here. That's what it takes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Robert Eddy. Thank you, Tom.
Makes me excited.
Thank you, Chuck Rucker, Ricky Ward, Terry Lees, Tavia Castleman, everybody, Lance, everybody, Chris P.
The bum in the trash outside?
Who, Ricky?
No, the guy outside lives in our trash can.
Oh, our church. Yeah,
The dumpster guy.
we even have a dumpster guy here. I'll bring him in next
I'm
week.
gonna get out of here, that's right.
I don't want to do that.
All right, everything else?
Okay, no, that's it. I'm good. How about you?
Good.
We good?
Yep, I'll tell you on this match is going to be on Wednesday on our...
Yeah, who we got
picture.
Wednesday?
We have on 25 and 6, we got Diamond Security again. Matt Rizzo, Dustin Clark, Mark Classy Jr., and Mike Schumacher. Against Stupid Corner, Danny Wilson, Matt Pfeiffer, Scott Whiteleather, and the great Michael Boyd.
Good.
The TV pairs are going to be Looped, Joe Lasik, Dwayne Billy, Darren Lamar, and Merle Billy against the OMWB, Roy Paris, Rich Hoagland, Dick Hoagland, Brian Copeland, and Matt Hodgman will be on the TV pair.
Good, I'm glad.
Me too.
Those guys want to bowl so good. Roy Parrish, I want Roy Parrish to shoot 720. He's so capable of it. You know, if you get the corners out, pick the right ball early, you know what gets him is his ball flutters a little bit. It comes off the oil and it just doesn't have a lot of tilt.
Yeah.
But he has one ball that does that. He doesn't use it. And I'm not allowed to coach people before they bowl, and I don't. But I can tell them tonight, bring the ball out and try it in practice. Maybe shoot 740 and show people how good he really is.
We'll find out on Wednesday. Hot shot, Larry.
I'm ready to roll. I'll be here early. I don't know who I'm going to interview Wednesday, but I'll find somebody. Again, we're on at 6:40 in the pre-league show. We like to talk 10 minutes to somebody. Actually put the cameras on us and we flip them around for practice.
High tech.
High tech. We're waiting for the rolling camera. That should be here any day now. Wayne Tomlin said it's close. He guaranteed it by the end of the year.
Toplin 2000.
Yeah,
You need it.
Toplin 2000.
All right, that's all I got. And it's the fastest 40 minutes in bowling. So we'll see you on Wednesday.
See you all Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.